All right, but we begin with this. Former President Donald Trump, he is back here in New York City for the first time since his historic arrest here last week.
New York State's Attorney General is deposing Trump as part of a case surrounding his company's business dealings. Trump arrived in New York last night. This investigation is a result of the Attorney General's $250 million civil suit against the former president, 3 of his children, and the Trump Organization. Her office claims the company manipulated the value of its properties to receive favorable loans and insurance rates. Trump, for his part, denies any wrongdoing.
CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates joins us now here in Studio 57. Graham, it's great to have you in the building and seated. A week ago, we were standing all day as Trump was being arraigned here in New York City. The last time, though, he's been in a situation like this, he pleaded the Fifth, right? He was deposed by the AG's office last August, repeatedly used his Fifth Amendment right, but that was before this deposition was filed. Might we expect the same outcome today?
No, so Trump is expected to actually answer the questions today, and there's a big difference. This is the same case, but that was before the lawsuit was filed, and now they're in the discovery process before an expected civil trial in October. And the thing about invoking the Fifth at this point is that the jury could actually use that against you. They could see that, they could interpret that as being evidence of some sort of wrongdoing, and they don't have to interpret it that way, but you risk that if you invoke the Fifth. So a source has told me that he's expecting to answer the questions today. We don't know exactly what he's going to be asked, but we're expecting it to be relatively similar to the last deposition, where they kind of peppered him about different valuations and things that appeared on his financial statement over the course of many years.
Graham, the former president is also going on the offensive, filing a lawsuit against his former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen. What more have you learned on that front?
Sure. So Michael Cohen is the key witness against him in a different case. That's his criminal case in Manhattan. And he's really been the catalyst for a lot of the allegations and criminal allegations against former President Trump. And what the lawsuit asks for is it's a $500 million suit. And he claims that Cohen violated attorney-client privilege and the terms of their contract and unjustly enriched himself through his books and podcasts based on what they say was confidential information provided to him by Trump. But it's worth noting some of the information that's out there and a lot of the information that led to the criminal charges were part of the case in which Cohen himself was convicted in entered a guilty plea in federal court back in 2018. So it's going to be a complicated lawsuit that as it plays out for Trump to win. But at this point, it's a way of clapping back at Cohen for causing to Trump, as far as Trump is concerned, a lot of heartache.
And that's what Cohen's team had said, that Trump traditionally uses the legal system to try and punish people who have come out against him and try to silence them. There's so much that you've just laid out. There does seem to be some connection, but how does the indictment in the hush money case, which we covered last week, affect this?
So it doesn't have to necessarily, but the Attorney General's office and the Manhattan DA have kind of run these parallel investigations over the course of many years. And they even have deputies from the Attorney General's office working inside the Manhattan DA's office. So if Trump were to say something or if something were to pop up in the Attorney General's investigation that somehow bore implications on the criminal case, there's nothing to bar them from sharing that information. And the same goes vice versa. And they've been open about that. They're running separate investigations, one's civil and one's criminal, but they're allowed to and they're open to sharing information.
Fascinating to watch. We appreciate you being across all of those threads. Graham Cates, thank you.